Hey, what's going on, guys? Double 18 Set Shadow here. So we're at the end of the starting weekend of Uma Musume's race into Shadowverse Evolve. And yes, I'm gonna be trying my hand at random puns here and there for all the racing that I've got. Even the title's got one at this point. But let's just go ahead and get into it. First thing I want to cover for Uma Musume are the leader cards and where they're standing right now. Because if you see here, they're not running too hot. Many of them have a lot of listings around the $150 mark. Some are as low as 100-ish, maybe a little lower right now. But the only one that's got a sell on it is Manhattan Cafe right now. And that has a market price of 160. But then you look at Twin Turbo at 153, Yuki no Bijin at 119, Narita Taishin 195, and so forth. They are not selling at these prices. And, well, I mean, yeah. I'm not really sure what to say about this one, but when it comes to leader cards, given that they're only there for aesthetics, I don't think there's just enough in getting the value here as opposed to going for signature cards instead, like what we have over here, where these have more constant sells for having more. They're both playable, and I think there's more value in seeing a card with a signature overall, because you can see that special week is currently at a market price of 128 and one listing at 145. You've got Oguri Cap, Marozensky, Rice Shower, Silent Shizuka, Riko Kashimoto, which I had been saying wrong in prior market watches. Then you've also got Agnes Takion. This one hasn't sold yet, but it's $200 base. Daiwa Scarlet is currently $580 but hasn't sold yet. So even with the aesthetic, any of them that are just beyond $200 seem to have a hard time moving as well. And unfortunately for Havencraft, I feel like they got the short end of the stick. Gold Ship, Majoro McQueen. The only Majoro McQueen that's above 100 hasn't sold, and then the others are in the $80 range, $90 range. And they're the only ones that are that cheap right now, and yet they're still not moving. It's a shame. But I feel like you're going to find a lot more value in pulling signs, which you can, from what I've heard after some case pulls, it actually is 1 liter per case and 2 signs per case as well. So, unfortunately, yeah, it is. It's just the ratios are worse in compared to Reign of Bahamut there. But yeah. Talking about a few of the older cards, there have been a lot of price slips with Uma Musume racing all over. We've got Bellringer Angel for one thing, where now the basic gold has dropped underneath $15 for its base listing. And when we take a look at how many are available, there are a few $14 copies, and then it goes back to $15. But we have 3 copies left at $12.50. And it looks like there were 2 other copies available up to that point. So it's still holding around 15, but it seems to be slipping as opposed to being able to keep itself in place. Soul Dealer is also trying to hold above $10. No one has bought any copies since the release of Uma Musume, and it's still holding around 12. And then you've got Cerberus as well. I mean, I'm just catching note of these for a Bizcraft because I happened to see that their prices seemed lower than they used to be. And with Cerberus, players are still buying it for 10 and above right now, but there are a few listings that are $10, $11 right now. So it's managing to hold itself, but it seems to be a bit more on a downtrend, whereas Heavenly Aegis is on a major downtrend right now. Listings of this card have plummeted on the legendary side and are now in the $6 range. We had the initial buyout, which we talked about ages back, at 40. Then it made its way all the way back down to 20, then 12 where it used to be, and now it's almost $5. And I mean, with the transition to Uma Musume, I guess a lot of players are just offloading where they can. Even the super legendary of the base version has a market price of 31, but a base listing of 1845 right now. No one had been buying this card for about a week. And there is only one 1845 though, and most of them are still in the $30 range. But since it hasn't been bought yet, I guess we'll just have to see where it goes after this. Dracomancer writes, the foil version of this card consistently sold for above $10 for a little while, but it's another one that hasn't been bought for over a week. There are 2 listings available around $6 right now before it goes back to 10. But yeah, just more signs of offloading on a lot of fronts. Now taking a look at Uma Musume singles, we've got Agnes Tachyon, which is for Runecraft. Pricing on this one, and pretty much everything has been dropping since the release from their base prices, but right now Agnes Tachyon's one of the bigger ones to pick up at around $15, and a lot of copies around $13.50 right now. Then, of course, you got Daiwa Scarlet, who is more consistently holding at $16 and has a lot of listings just underneath that by change. And I would imagine that it will hold. I mean, Daiwa Scarlet is I think it's the main deck that is being brought up with Uma Musume right now, and 21 listings right now, so still a fair amount to go for. We'll just have to see if it really takes off any further. Lamplit Training of a Witch to Be, that is a mouthful. 13 listings on this silver card, which is also played in the Daiwa deck, if I'm not mistaken. And in general, it's just really nice for Uma Musume, being that it's a 1 cost that can always do 3 damage if you're playing racing all the time. But right now, it's $1.20 plus lots of $2 copies that are also on the market, so this is one of the ones that will probably stay somewhat relevant in value, but as more product gets cracked open, there is the possibility for it to keep going down. Then Make Some Noise. This one is a slightly souped up version of the prior card where it does 3 to 4 damage and is 1 cost higher. 18 listings on this one and it sells for $3.50 to $4. It is a gold rare, so you would typically anticipate this one to go down in value, but it is a common destruction card like how Snipe was for set 2, and that one maintained around $5 for a while. So this one could very well be the chase gold of the set. Then you've got Silent Shizuka, which is holding pretty good value right now at it's actually closer to $15 now. And of course it does have a copy that you can pick up from the starter deck, and the evolved version of this one is closer to $8. So honestly, I wasn't sure about Silent Shizuka being played much in regular Uma Musume, but I know Forestcraft, it's basically a shoe-in for both the ability to have Storm and the ability to just spin cards on your opponent's board on Evo. Last item for today is the Carrot, which is actually kind of pricey. I opened a pair of boxes. I'm supposed to be getting some more this week, and I'm hoping to open them live stream, but from what I saw, I only pulled, I think, 4 carrots per box. So if you're building multiple decks, usually you'll want a few copies. But right now they're $1.50 base. Some listings are $1.20 as well. And yeah, so kind of like how we had Otohime's Bodyguard before, I would imagine that the carrot is going to hold some value for a while. And if Uma does turn out to be incredibly popular, it could even go up and stay at $2 for a little while, but we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.